الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله أدى الأمانة وبلغ الرسالة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه الله اليقين. ابتعثه الله يخرج العباد من عبادة العباد لعبادة رب العباد ومن ضيق الدنيا لسعة الدنيا والآخرة معا ومن جور الأديان إلى عدل الإسلام. اللهم اجزه عنا خير ما جزيت نبيا عن أمته. We praise Allah, we praise Him again, and we praise Him a third time. We ask Him His help and His forgiveness, and we ask Him for sincerity in our words and deeds, and we ask Him to send His peace and blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, and all those who follow Him until the day of resurrection. Whomever Allah guides is truly the one who's guided, and whomever He leaves to stray, never find for him a guardian or a guide. And I bear witness that there's nothing worthy of worship or direction or submission except Allah, the High and Exalted, the one true God. Arabic for the one true God is the proper name of Allah. And I bear witness that Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, is his final messenger and prophet, that he sent him with the truth and the light so He may free all the creation from enslavement to each other, from enslavement to creation, to the servitude of the Lord of creation, and from the constraint of knowing only the life of this earth, the life of this world, and chasing everything in the life of this world to the vastness and emancipation that comes with knowing that after we die there's another life waiting for us, and from the injustice that comes with decision making that's for other than justice of God. Decision-making that's based on whims and desires, based on selfish interests, based even on looking at just a small group that's around us, our family or our personal community, ignoring others, to the justice and freedom that comes with the divinely guided decision-making, the decision-making guided by Allah, the High and Exalted. So may Allah give Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, the best reward that he has given a prophet and a messenger for his nation. Allah taught us to recite, and we recited at the beginning, and we recited as we sat here, and we recited as we were coming, hopefully, and we will recite after every prayer today until Maghrib. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater, Allah is greater, Allah is greater. La ilaha illallah. Nothing is worthy of our direction or worship or submission or thanks except Allah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater, Allah is greater. وَلِلَّهِ الْحَمْدُ. And His is all the praise and glory. And here we are sitting today. We just concluded the blessed month of Ramadan. We sat together, and some of us who weren't able to be here every night didn't sit together, maybe sat at home, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala some of the dua that the Prophet taught us, asking Him to make the Quran a guide for our lives, asking Him to reform our lives, asking Him to emancipate us from the hellfire, asking Him to forgive all our sins. We asked, and we asked, and we wanted it. Some of us may have asked mechanically, but there was a moment during Ramadan when we heard Allah will forgive all the sins, when we said, I want that, and we asked for it. And before Ramadan, there were things we wanted in life. When we were young, sometimes we wanted a piece of chocolate, or a date, something sweet before dinner, and we'd ask for it. Sometimes we'd want to ride a bike. When our brother and sister, or a cousin, we saw them riding a bike, we wanted to ride a bike. So we asked to learn how to ride a bike, a parent or someone else. then what did we do after we asked? For those who wanted to ride the bike, had they said, "Oh Allah, I want to learn how to ride a bike," and then sat down and someone said, "Come, I'll teach you." No, I don't want someone to teach me. I made dua to Allah. I'm sitting here. It wouldn't make sense. The person would be asked twice, 3 times. Then the person who's offering to teach would give up. You don't understand what you're asking for if you don't want to come with me to learn. If you're asking to learn to ride a bike, then you need to put in the time and the effort to ride the bike. And here we are. We're standing after we asked Allah, emancipate our necks from the hellfire. Make your path the one that we're upon before we die. Make your guidance the light of our lives. The question is, after we make the dua, what is the effort that we need to put forth? And instead of taking all your time, because we can sit till Maghrib talking about what are some things we need to do. But this is a day of celebration. And the celebration is not because now we can eat, even though we can eat. The celebration is just like the celebration at the end of Adha. It's just like the celebration when you were born. It's just like the celebration when you got married. It's just like the celebration, but it's much greater. It's a new beginning. We're celebrating a new life. We're celebrating a major life event. The life event of starting a new page in our lives with no sins. And what we ask Allah is to keep it clean enough so that when we meet Him, we merit, with His mercy, the paradise that He's promised. So we have to put in effort. So the one thing for my first khutbah, there's 2. The one thing that I want this khutbah to be about, the one thing that we should leave here today, promising ourselves, promising each other, promising our community, is that we're going to make real Allahu Akbar. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may be conscious of Allah. I sat and reflected, how can I explain this to my beloved brothers and sisters? That out of Ramadan, we should have learned and we should have had some empowerment for that taqwa. And then I read on. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the permissions if you aren't able. And then at the end of the ayah, the next ayah, He says, وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that you may be magnifying Allah. And then I thought to myself, when we say كَبِّرِ اللَّهِ, when someone says something good in the masjid, outside we clap, in the masjid we say takbir. That's kabbirullah, could be verbally Allahu Akbar, saying Allahu Akbar. Does Allah mean in this ayah the saying of Allahu Akbar? What does He mean? وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. And if there's the one thing that we leave today with, it's so that we can make takbir of Allah. What does make takbir of Allah mean? What does make takbir of Allah mean? Because we're sitting reciting it and we're not like other nations. We are asking God to be different for this human family. We're not asking Him to keep us like every other nation that He sent to this human family and they betrayed. مَثَلِ الْحِمَارِ يَحْمِلُ أَسْفَارًا, like a donkey carrying books on his back, not understanding what's in them. We're asking God to make us a different type of nation for this world. A different type of community. A different set of young men and young women for their peers. The differentiator is وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ. The differentiator is that Allah is greater. Allah is priority. What does that mean? Allah's priority. Because when we say Allahu Akbar, and notice our Eid prayer, The amazing thing, it all comes together. The Eid prayer, the thing different about it, the only thing different about it, 7 takbirat. Someone is standing, surely, some young man or young woman is standing. Why are we doing 7 takbirat? Is it because there may be many rows and people won't hear the first takbirah? There must be something deeper. It's because Allah is reminding you and I, coming out of Ramadan, what I'm teaching you is that Allah is greater even than your lower self, your Maslow's hierarchy's lowest rung of needs. Even your need of survival, Allah is greater at times. Your food and drink isn't something not good. Your food and drink isn't something you shouldn't be seeking. On the contrary, you feed your family, you get reward. You put a morsel of food in your wife's mouth, you get reward. Your food and drink is required of you to serve for people. But for Allah, He's teaching us that even something so basic, so innate, so coveted, so desired, I will ask you to learn how to prioritize me on everything else by prioritizing me on your basic need. And if you come out of the month and the takbir of Allah in your life isn't clear, come and pray. And your beginning of celebration is Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater than anything in my life. Allah is greater than anything in my life. Allah is greater than anything in my life. And my people, the reason we have pain, the reason we have ills, the reason we have depression, the reason we have drugs, the reason we have hurt, the reason we have murder is because you don't understand that Allah is greater. وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. Allah is greater. Allah is greater than my personal needs. Allah is greater than what my father taught me was the glory of our family. Allah is greater than the color of skin. Allah is greater than the loss I had because He'll give me better than it if I believe in Him and trust Him. Allah is greater. Allah is greater, and because Allah is greater, I will serve you when you don't serve me. I will give you when you don't give me. I will give and not look to take because Allah is greater and He's the one I'm looking to give to. وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Then what does He follow it up with? Now, you want to ask? وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. When your servants ask of me, right after you prioritize Allah in your life, now you have the source that gives you anything you need of the lower things than Him. Everything that's lower than Him, you will have desires. You will have needs in life. You will have things you're going to need to seek in this world, hopefully so that you can employ them for His glorification and for serving Him. All those needs, because they're lower than Him, you glorify Him first, prioritize Him first, then ask Him of all those things He'll give you. أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. You make me greater in your life, and just ask, and you'll have it. The one thing is to make Allah priority in our lives. And when I say make Allah priority, it's not about a fiery sermon and getting moved and having a tear come down from our eyes. It's about leaving this masjid tonight, sitting with our families and saying, how are we going to schedule learning about the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in our lives? How are we going to schedule reciting one ayah together once a week? I travel through my work, brother. I don't see my wife. I come home, she's tired. I'm tired from business. I can't sit with them once a night. Once a week. An ayah for the solutions that mankind is waiting on you for. وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. And everything else will fall in place. That's why He says, إِنَّ سَعْيَكُمْ لَشَتَّى. Everything you see, you're going to be all over the place. إِلَّا مَنْ فَأَمَّا مَنْ أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى. The one who prioritizes Allah and gives because he believes that Allah is first and believes that Allah will give him what's best, then will make for him the easy path. فسنيسره لليسرى. When he's not first, we chase everything everywhere. But when he's first, everything else falls in place. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم إنه غفور رحيم. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر ولله الحمد. My beloved brothers and sisters, yesterday as I was blocking out all news and all social media to focus on some business things that I had put aside and on this talk with you, and I thought I had it ready, and I thought I had both khutbahs ready. Then I come to Isha, one of my beloved brothers tells me, did you hear the news of the young man in Chattanooga, Tennessee? And what happened? And I was devastated. I stayed up for 2.5 hours, from article to article. Mind boggled. A young man from a city that's a sister to Evansville, Indiana. Small town America. A young man whose sisters, the articles go on, his sisters were proud of who they were. I kept thinking of young brothers and young sisters that I had fallen in love with, their passion and their energy and their talent. And thinking of that young man, thinking that committing a crime against humanity will be salvation. Reading the article that he had a DUI in April. So, like everyone else, like 50% of college-age young people that are Muslim and that come to the masjid, he slipped and engaged in the activities of college-age people. And he thought there was no hope. For 28 days in Ramadan, instead of hearing the message of the following, which was the original subject of my second khutbah, that if there's nothing else in addition to the takbir of Allah we take from Ramadan, it's that our home in paradise, yes, your home in paradise is built already. The moment the angel breathes the soul into the womb, our beloved ﷺ said, every son and daughter of Adam, peace upon him, when she's born, her palace in paradise is waiting. Every human being. Some choose to keep on the path walking to it. And if you imagine with me what path I'm talking about. Imagine yourself seeing a huge palace that's yours. You know your family's there waiting for you. Your friends are there waiting for you. All you have to do is trek across a desert to make it there. That's this world. And they're waiting for you in paradise. You have a family waiting for you in paradise. They're waiting for you right now. And every human has that family, has that palace. That's our beloved's promise. وَصَدَقَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. The difference is some people won't walk towards the palace. They look at all the mirages around them and they start walking towards them. And someone tells them this is the real palace. And they just keep going to the mirages. You and I, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said and told us and taught us, and we know which one the real palace is. May Allah increase us in faith in Him, belief in Him. He's made it clear to us. And here we are, thinking that since we know where it is, we should be running along without a problem. But just like every other human, we get attracted from the left and from the right, and we slip down and fall. And sometimes we stay down long if we wallow in our shame. But our beloved ﷺ taught us, and Allah taught us, اتبع السيئة الحسنة تمحها. Get right back up, dust yourself off, and do a good deed. And you're still on the path, the palace is still waiting. Don't think that you're down for the count and you have to have some grand gesture, so that you look for any grand gesture that's told to you, and then you believe as a young man, oh, maybe that grand gesture is true. And maybe the thought crossed his mind, and Allah knows best, maybe the thought crossed his mind that because they're military, it's halal. On the contrary, treason is a kabira in our faith. The killing of someone, even if they are a combatant, eventually, who isn't a combatant at the time, is a kabira in our faith. And the fact that those were his co-citizens, his brothers and sisters in the city and humanity, they knew him. They were most likely from the impoverished community, most likely minorities, who have, in order to make a better life and not go to the life of crime that's in their impoverished community, they chose to serve in the military because it gives them the benefits of a potential college education. And we know that most of our armed forces are those types of people. And you think you can justify in your mind that that could be okay just because we think the global policy of our nation may not be the wisest, may not be the most just in many instances historically, and maybe in some still today? By Allah, Bari, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free and clear from such association. Our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam is free and clear from such teaching. Our beloved's teaching, when he was asked to make dua against Hawazin, after being in a bloody battle with them, they said to him, "O Prophet of Allah, make dua against Hawazin." He raises his arms to the heavens and he says, "Allahumma hdi Hawazin wa'ti bihim." O Allah, guide Hawazin and bring them forth. You know who he only made dua against? Even Quraysh after Uhud, after they defeated them in Uhud and killed his uncle and pulled out his liver. He was asked to make dua against them. And he says, Allahumma hdi Qurayshan innahum la ya'lamun. You know who he did make dua against? Adl wal-Qarra. You know what Adl wal-Qarra did? Adl wal-Qarra committed betrayal of a promise. They said, bring your huffaz to teach us the Quran, and when they came to them, they slaughtered them. They committed a betrayal act, like what a young man would be doing when he's a co-citizen of a nation and he turns against his people. That's betrayal at the highest level, treason at the highest level, and Allah and His Messenger, Bura'at, are free and clear from anything of that being associated with Islam. Do not feel the burden of such acts on you. Your faith is empowering. It's a light for all people. Do not be ashamed of your faith and start hiding your Islam because a misguided community or a misguided brother. And yes, any young man and young woman are subject to that if we don't move, if we don't act. And here's how we're going to act. The original subject of my second khutbah. The two things that we have to make real in our lives is that we're always hopeful of His forgiveness, and we ask Him forgiveness when we slip, and we commit to what we're doing. Continue the commitment, no matter how bad it gets, my young brothers and sisters. Don't go seeking out temptations in college thinking, I'll just ask forgiveness. However, if you do slip, do not leave the path. Your palace is waiting for you. You come back. And then, the second thing is move to show people this faith in action. Learn it in the Quran. Give the Quran priority in your life because وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ, so that you may prioritize Allah for what He guided you. I ask Allah the High and Exalted that He teach us His Quran, and He teach us what He loves, and He allow us and empower us to follow. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت اللهم تقبل صيامنا وصلاتنا وركوعنا وسجودنا اللهم يا رب اتمم علينا نعمتك انك غفرت لنا ذنوبنا اللهم يا رب وأعتقتنا من النار سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك. Oh Allah, guide us with those whom you've guided, and forgive us with those whom you've forgiven, and grant us your love and the love of everything you love. Oh Allah, complete your favor upon us, that you've forgiven all our sins, and that you've emancipated us from the hellfire. Allow us and empower us to make you priority in our lives. Allow us and empower us to make the Quran have its place in our lives. Allow us and empower us to always remember that you are there waiting for us with the repentance, and that our palace in paradise is waiting for us, and our family in paradise is waiting for us, and enter us into it without a previous punishment when we pass away. This is what we ask, and upon you is the dependence and the reliance, and in you we trust. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك وصل اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم واخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته وعيد مبارك سعيد عليكم وكبروا الله على